One night I was thinking about a dress I used to wear. Then I decided to draw it. Then another, then another, then another. And after I drew all the dresses I could think of, I thought, these dresses tell a story. My mother always wore a black dress and brown shoes with a buckle on it. She had glasses, but every time I tried to draw her, I always forgot her glasses. She had the most beautiful face, and she used to make all of my sister and my clothes. But what I really wished for was a store-bought outfit. The spring after my mother died, my father took me to B. Altman's hardware store for my 13th birthday. We were both very sad, but when we walked in, he said, "This is my daughter Gingy, and we need something to wear for her 13th birthday, and we need your help." And they all rushed over because he was so handsome. I picked 2 dresses, and I was in agony trying to decide, and he said, "Don't you worry. You know why? 'Cause I'm buying them both." One day, my grandmother got me and my sister and said that we were going to live with her, Grandpa, and Aunt Babby. I never saw my father again. Clothes are useful beyond for protection. They allow for a display of identity. According to DC Fashion Week from October 2024, fashion has been a display of identity for centuries. You could see cultural movements, economic conditions, and much more. So today, love, loss, and what I wore. A play by Nora Ephron and Delia Ephron. My grandparents lived in a brownstone building. My grandmother had believed in 2 cures: hot tea for anything wrong on the inside of the body, and Vaseline for anything on the outside. She always said, "It's easy to fall in love with a rich man as a poor man." But that's just not true. Seriously, not true. My best friend Dora lived across the street from me, and we used to stick our heads outside the windows and yell to the guys walking past, "Hey, mister, you're going bald." We thought we were hilarious, and every time Dora got to go somewhere special, her mom would always say, "Don't forget to take Gingy with you." She lent me this peach strapless gown when we went to the Choate School for Boys in Connecticut for the weekend. This is the coral wool jersey dress I bought for a date with Walter Fenton. I was madly in love with Walter Fenton. Every time we go out, Walter begged me to go all the way. Finally, at a fraternity party at Dartmouth Winter Carnival, he told me that he couldn't see me anymore because necking was just too painful. He went off to have a beer and left me sitting on the floor. After a long time, he came back, and I said I wanted to spend the night with him. "Are you sure?" he said. "I'm sure," I said. So we did it. That's when I found out that once you do something once in sex, you have to keep doing it. So at the end of my freshman year, I thought I was pregnant. I had no idea what to do, so I went to my sociology professor at Simmons College. Turned out I wasn't pregnant, but by then, Walter had vanished. Pink satin princess style dress I bought in Feline's basement in Boston for my marriage to Harry M. Johnson. I was 20. Harry was 37. Harry was my sociology professor at Simmons. One day I was coming down the front steps from our apartment, and there was Walter Fenton. He joined the Navy. He looked handsomer than ever in his uniform. "Gingy," he said, "why'd you do it?" And then he kissed my hand, and then my cheek, and then walked away. Now, I'd love to tell you that nothing good ever came of Walter Fenton, that he became a used car salesman, but the truth is, he won a Pulitzer Prize. The prick. Iridescent brocade Chinese-style dinner dress I bought in Cambridge for a New Year's Eve party. Harry convinced me to buy this dress, even though it was expensive. The party was at the home of Harry's friends Penny and Ecky. Anyways, at midnight I got very upset because I couldn't find Harry anywhere. Then I saw him. He was kissing Penny. "Harry!" I yelled. And you know what he said? Of course you know what he said. He said, "It's not what you think." But it was exactly what I thought. So that was that. I was 21 years old, and I was going to be the youngest divorced person in America. After I got divorced, I moved back to New York, and I lived with Dora, who was studying to be an actress. This is the yellow ochre sack dress Dora lent me when she fixed me up with Al Beckerman. He's very sweet now, but don't you go off and marry him, Gingy. Are you hearing me? Floral print cotton pig dress I purchased at a snooty store in New Canaan, Connecticut for my marriage to Al Beckerman. He's very sweet, I said to Dora, and she said, "I know, but are you sure? We both want a big family." "How big, Gingy?" Black and red print taffeta maternity dress, first worn when I was pregnant with Isabel, then when I was pregnant with Lily, Michael, Joe, Julie, and David. I ordered this beige wool pantsuit from the Spiegel catalog. One day I walked into my office and there was a man sitting at my desk and he had a glue stick in his hand and he said, "Do you know how to open this fucking thing?" And it was as if Cupid shot an arrow into my heart. "Fuck," he said, and left. Later that day, I found out his name was Stanley. So there it was. First Walter, then Harry, then Al, then Stanley. I love this print jersey Diane Fawn firsting wrap dress I was wearing the day I told Al I couldn't stay married to him anymore because I had fallen in love with Stanley. It wasn't really Al's fault. Al was so sweet. If I find myself wandering through a department store, it's like I'm wandering through a desert. I feel like a forgotten woman. Actually, when I was young, there was a chain of stores called The Forgotten Woman. Now I am that forgotten woman, and the store isn't even in business anymore. How ironic is that? After I finished making all of these drawings and writing all the bits and pieces that went with it, which took about a year, I made some copies and I put them in a big red binder and I gave them to my children and to my two best friends. I was done. I wanted them to know that their mother wasn't always their mother. I was a girl. I had best friends. We did stupid things together. But this was the story of my life.